Hey guys, what's up? Tim Queen here, and today we're going to talk about how to keep your LinkedIn account secure. There's many different reasons why someone might want to get their hands on a LinkedIn account. There is a huge potential for impersonation. Think of all the things that someone could do if a hacker would talk with someone very important using your name, and what kind of information I might give up, and what information could fall into the wrong hands for a hacker. So today we're going to talk about how to keep your LinkedIn account secure from hackers or any type of cyber criminals. Now you might think, is my account really worth it? I'm not really anywhere important. I'm not like the CEO of Microsoft. And might think that, but you will be wrong. Because there's so many different things that the cyber criminal can do with your account. For example, once they have access to your account, they have access to all of your personal messages. Who knows what you might have revealed in any of your past LinkedIn messages to someone important. Maybe you shared some personal identifiable information or some company secrets. So a hacker could get access to all of those messages, could go through them, could download them, and find information that they're not supposed to know. And they could also go and download your contact information from LinkedIn, like all of the address information of all the LinkedIn connections that have enabled download on their account. So they might get access to some contact information from people they shouldn't have access to. People who try to protect their identity online so they can't fall victim to phishing attacks or social engineering attacks. Then there is all of your personal information inside the account. A lot of people link their phone number, email addresses inside. Some people put in their address in. There might be some credit card information stored on your account. Heck, there might be an entire financial rabbit hole on your account. Maybe you have linked your credit cards to your LinkedIn ads account. Maybe you're in good standing and someone might abuse that power to not only empty your credit cards by running ads against your name, but it might also promote scams that might get your ad account shut down. It might put you into debt. There is a huge potential for financial damages when someone would be able to get their hands on your LinkedIn account. And then, of course, they could abuse some of the systems on LinkedIn. They could promote scams or, in the best case, spam messages via direct messages. They could use up your email credits. They could buy extra email credits, upgrade your account. They could post content on your profile, on your company page. They might take over your company page, get their hands on employee information they're not supposed to have. They could change some of the links. Maybe you have a lead magnet on your profile or a learn more link on your company page and link this to some malicious websites for phishing information where they capture the information or where they install malware on people. Maybe someone might try to extract some ransom from you for giving you the account back. And probably one of the worst case scenarios is when someone will use your identity for some way of social engineering or phishing to trick someone who believes they're talking to you into doing an action they're not supposed to do. Imagine this. You write a message to your CEO and you tell them, hey, I have to update the credit card information on our LinkedIn ad account. Can you quickly send me over the new credit card information? And just like that, there is a potential of getting their hands on some financial information, which they might exploit and then overcharge the credit card and cause a huge havoc and huge financial losses. Or worse, what if they talk to someone you're working in engineering or in some form of defense contractor, and you're talking to one of your colleagues or former colleagues, and you're asking some information. You might accidentally, of course, like most people will never do that, will never fall for it. There's a small chance that someone might fall for it and they might give out some very sensitive, highly confidential information, and that might fall into the hands of a third-party state who's trying to catch up with your country in terms of secret technologies, defense technologies. So there is a huge amount for damages. So you really want to make sure that your account is protected at all means necessary. So today I'm going to show you exactly how you can do that. So the first step to securing your account might be kind of counterintuitive, and most people will not immediately understand why this is important. But you want to hide your email address. You want to obfuscate it and make it so that people can't really guess it. And here's the thing why. let's just assume that you do one of the most common mistakes, you're reusing one of your passwords. So let's say you have an account on a third-party website and you share your email address and your password. And by coincidence, you use the same email address, the same password on your LinkedIn account. Now, what will happen? Now, if someone was able to break into this company's website, download the database, and let's assume they don't have it encrypted or they just have a very form of hashing that can easily be cracked or using like a rainbow table or some passwordless, and they get their hands on your password. Now they could use the combination of the username they know or the email address they know and the password they know and try to log into many different popular websites. They might try to log into Facebook, use the same email, same password. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Maybe they try to log into your Google account, maybe your Microsoft account, or your LinkedIn account. And if they have access to your LinkedIn account, boom, they're in. Now, one way how you can kind of make this really difficult is by actually not having the same email address for every single account that you're using. Give an example. Let's say the most perfect scenario was I have a unique email address that I'm just using for my LinkedIn account. So I have an extra email inbox with a different password, and I use that specific email just for one use case as my account email address on LinkedIn. So even if let's say someone hacks my Facebook account, gets my email address, and they try to log into my LinkedIn account, they will not get anywhere because that email address doesn't exist. There's not an account set up on LinkedIn with that email address. Now, that's obviously not practical by any means. So you can't create thousands of email addresses, each one for just securing one account. You would probably at some point get an inactivity notice and your email account might get locked down if you don't have your own domain and can set this up easily. So for most cases, we cannot create like a unique email address for every single account. But there is a very interesting method that works with most email providers. You can use the plus sign to generate unlimited email addresses. I'll give you an example. Let's say you have an email, myname@gmail.com. Now, what if you wrote my name plus this is the email address for my LinkedIn account @gmail.com. Now, you might think, well, my email is just my name @gmail.com. How can it work? Because Gmail will ignore all of anything that is written after the plus sign, including the plus sign. So it can generate like an unlimited amount of email addresses. The beauty is that LinkedIn actually thinks it's a different email address. So when someone tries to log into the account and they don't know that you're using the plus method or like whatever words you're writing behind it, they will not be able to even if they knew the password, they would still not be able to get in. Of course, we're going to make sure that they're not going to get the password in the first hand, but let's treat the email address as a second password. Now, you could go for something predictable. You could go for something like, hey, my name plus, and then the name of the website, LinkedIn or something like this, that you can easily remember. Or if you're smart about it, you're using a password manager, then you can always generate like a unique random combination of strings that you add after the plus sign. Will still all go into your inbox, so don't worry about it. But let's say you're generating like a 32 character string or something like this, or like a passphrase at the end of the word. Now it becomes really difficult for someone to guess your email address. And it can be unique if you're using a password manager. It can be a unique email address for every single account. And it doesn't cost you anything, and it also goes in the same inbox. If you want to learn more about how to set this up in password managers, it's going to be one of my next videos. I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to do that. It's really, really beautiful once you see how this works. The security of the email address alone would take someone an infinite number of years to guess, which makes it really unbreakable. Let's get on to the next method. Another method how someone might be able to guess your password is because it's just written on your LinkedIn profile. There is a couple of different places where it could be. The most obvious one could be your contact information section on your profile. So you can check out, go on your LinkedIn profile, find this section over here, click on it, and then you see contact information. There is your email address. Now you can, if you want, you can have an email address on that profile, but it should be different, and it must be different than your account email address. And it will become more obvious, and we'll explain exactly why this is really important later. But like, let's say you have like an official address and you have like one for your account with like a plus sign, which is a unique string that nobody will be able to figure out. Or it could be like a different email address and the plus sign in combination. So once you have cleaned up your contact section, I would also have a look around, check out your about section. Did you add your email address and some description for one of your experiences or somewhere along the profile, or maybe like on one of your LinkedIn posts? What you want to make sure is that whatever email address you're sharing, same logic, never use your account email address. Always have a different official email address where you can receive inbound leads or contact requests. Always use like an official email address that is publicly known, that is never linked to any account, and you will be good. The last method how people can guess your email address is because you're linking to your current employer on your experience section. So let's say you work at Microsoft and your name is John Doe. There is a high chance that your email address might be john.doe@microsoft.com. And the way people figure this out, they're looking at your current position, your current employment. They're clicking on the LinkedIn page. They're looking at like what is the official website? Like just clicking on the learn more button or whatever, like the LinkedIn company page has set up. And if it's, let's say, Microsoft.com, then they're using a combination of first name dot last name at the domain name of your company page. So obviously you want to make sure that you are not using that as your account email on your LinkedIn page. Your primary account email address should follow exactly the policy I just outlined. Has to be a unique email address using the plus method. So you know exactly when you're receiving an email on that address. That's the magic why we're doing it. It's an official LinkedIn message, because this will prevent you from falling victim to any type of phishing on LinkedIn. And maybe one more method for good measures, make sure that you disable the exportability of your contact information on LinkedIn. You have to go to settings, and then in settings, go into the visibility section, and there click on who can see or download my contact information. So you're setting email visibility to only me, and who can download my information to no one. Next, we're going back to the main settings page, and we're going to switch over to sign in and security. And here we're going to go to email address. And if you haven't set up the plus email yet, you can add a new email address. And then once you have confirmed the email address, you might have to click the link in your inbox. Then you're going to come back here and you're going to click the new email address with the plus sign and click on make it primary. So this will be your primary login email address. You can still keep another email address, for example, your company email address on the profile if you're using that for a verification of your employment. But you want to make sure that your primary account email address, that is the address that LinkedIn will email you if there is any issues like resetting your passwords or any important information about your account, that this one is a different email address that is not publicly known anywhere. Now let's talk about your password for a second, because there is a lot of different misconceptions about passwords. A lot of people think they're very creative, but they really aren't. They're using some kind of keyword pattern or like words that you can find in a dictionary. And actually, most hackers know about this, and there are lists of the most common passwords available online, so they can just try out all the different combinations in order to log into an account. So what's really important, if you want to keep your account safe, you have to generate like a unique password. I would recommend that you use a passphrase technique. This is like a combination of randomly generated words. You can check out my LinkedIn post. I'm going to put the link down in the description where I'm explaining how to use that method using some dice and a list of unique random words to generate a unique passphrase. The best way to use passwords is to have a password manager which generates like a huge bulk of random characters, special characters, numbers, small caps, large caps, whatever you can imagine, and like the longest number of possible characters, and then store this unique password for every website in your password manager, and then use a passphrase or a sentence as your master password. This way you're getting the maximum amount of security. So once you've set this up, it's time to make your account even more secure. This is going to make it almost impossible unless LinkedIn has like a really big database breach where someone might be able to get into their entire user base. This will really make it almost impossible for anyone to hack into your account. So the first thing that we want to use is we want to set up multi-factor authentication, or how LinkedIn is calling it, two-factor authentication. Now, there are three main methods that you can use. The first one is you can use in-app notification that requires you to install the LinkedIn app on your phone. So once you've installed your LinkedIn app on your phone and you have linked it, you logged into your account and linked this together, you can get notifications on your phone when you're trying to log in, for example, from your desktop computer. So if you are not logged in, pop-up message pops up and it asks you, hey, did you just try to sign in? And then you have to confirm, yes, that was me. And otherwise you will not be able to log in. And the reason why this is so super secure is because in most cases, like if someone cracks a database, this is like happening online. Someone's server, someone is coming in through the internet into the server, cracks the database, extracts the password, cracks the password, and then they're trying to log into your LinkedIn account. But they're not physically there. They don't know where you live. They certainly didn't break into your house. They didn't snatch your phone, and they don't know your PIN code on your phone in order to log into your LinkedIn app in order to confirm this method. This is so unlikely that someone would be able to have both things, have cracked your password and got their hands on your phone. The probability that someone will be able to bypass that is very, very low. Now, the next method that you can use is called a unique passcode generator. Now, this works best if you have a password manager, for example, something like Bitwarden or 1Password. And what you can do is you can use this QR code, scan this in, and then it will generate like a random number, let's say every 10 to 30 seconds, depending on the settings. So LinkedIn would then ask you when you're logging, type in the 6-digit PIN code, the randomly generated PIN code, into your login window in order to confirm that it's actually you. Now you might think, oh, couldn't I try out all the different combinations? No. If they get it wrong the first time, the code will be automatically invalidated and you have to generate like a new code. It's a very similar security like the in-app notifications. Works best if you have the password manager on a second device. And this makes it really difficult to get into your account. And there's one more method, which is like, it's not as secure as the random generated code or the in-app notification. Is generating basically like 6-digit codes and sending it to your phone via text message. And the reason why it's not so secure is because there are some ways how someone might be able to get their hands on your SIM card. It's called like SIM swapping, and like the basic idea is someone might call your service provider and say like, hey, I've lost the SIM card. Can you send me a new SIM card? And then they might, for example, like wait near your house. Again, how likely is that? But like they might wait near your house and they might fish out the SIM card from your letterbox and then install it on their own phone and then take over your account. It's still unlikely. There are also other ways how they might get their hands on their SIM card that don't require them to like put their fingers into your letterbox. But it's not the perfect method. So, but LinkedIn is smart. It actually gives you the choice. You can choose: do you want to have the PIN generator on your password manager, or do you want to use SMS notification? In this case, you should always use the authenticator code generator to make your account the most secure possible. Now, bonus tip. If you really want to secure your account, you can go passwordless. Now, the way this works is there is two keys, one public key and one private key, and then one will be given to LinkedIn. So what LinkedIn can do is it can verify that you are the owner of this private key. So it would give you some kind of challenge, like a secret word, and ask you to encrypt it using your private key. And then it can decrypt it with their public key. And then it can confirm this could have only been done by you. This is very strong encryption. Would break the video like talking about how this works in detail. But what you can remember is it's basically impossible. It would take billions of years under the best circumstances in order for someone to guess your private key. So this method, passwordless, is the most secure one. It's like more secure than having like a really long password. Now, this works great if you have, for example, a physical security key, or you have a really good password manager, something like 1Password or Bitwarden, that can use passkeys and store this in your password database. So whenever you're logging in and then you have like a confirmation, please use your passkey, and then you can either insert this into your USB port, or you can use like the application, a password manager, to then go through the password challenge and confirm the cryptographic challenge. And this is the most secure way how you can secure your LinkedIn account of all methods. And by now you can still bypass it, you can still type in your password, but as this becomes more adept, you will eventually have the situation that people will be able to completely disable any form of password and just 100% rely on passwordless technology. One small thing, let's head over to data and privacy settings on LinkedIn. And we're just going to do like a really brief overview here. There's a lot more that you should deactivate, but let's go for connected services first. And let's have a look at like what applications did you actually give access to your LinkedIn account. Those are accounts that might be able to download your email address from your account. And here you really want to remove all the information that are not supposed to have it. Any connected application via API is a risk factor because each one of them could get hacked, and then through one of them, they could get access to your email address in one form or another. Important note, when you're working on LinkedIn, sometimes there are lead generation forms directly embedded in LinkedIn. For example, someone is running a LinkedIn ad, or someone has embedded this on the LinkedIn company page. And it basically pre-fills out your information, your first name, last name, and email address, and sometimes your company name and some extra fields. But you always have the choice to edit every single field. So by default, LinkedIn will pre-fill this field with your primary account email address, but you don't really want anyone to know about this. So make sure that if you use that feature, that you disable whatever email address is pre-filled in one of those forms, and just use the official email address that you want to use, or the one where you feel like, yeah, there is like a spam message, I wouldn't mind. I don't really read that inbox. Let's summarize this. You want to use your email address as a second password by using a unique account email address that you're not using anywhere else, and you're especially not putting out anywhere in the public. It could be like a second Outlook account or Gmail account. And what you want to use, you want to make this even more unique for every website by adding something extra, using your name and then inserting the plus sign and then some random word or random string that gives you some indication like what this is for. And the best way I would recommend is use a password manager and back up your password manager database. This way, when something happens, you will always be able to remember this random string on your email address. Then again, use your password manager to generate like a really random long string using the entire spectrum of characters available in the dictionary, and generate like a huge, large password, whatever length the website allows you. For your master password, you should have something like a passphrase or like randomly generated words. Again, check out the link down in the description on how to generate like a passphrase properly with random like a word list and dice. And then you have to make sure that you hide your account email address everywhere on your LinkedIn profile, in your contact information, anywhere on your profile or in any of your posts. Hide it completely, and then just have an official email address that you wouldn't mind receiving emails from. And the reason why you want to do that is because sometimes LinkedIn might send you some like password request. And so what you can do is every time you're receiving an email and LinkedIn asks you to do something like, hey, do you want to confirm this? You can check, where was this email sent to? And if it wasn't sent to your primary account email, you know it's a phishing attack. So let's say my normal email address was like myname@gmail.com, but my account email for LinkedIn was my special email address that I'm only using for my online accounts at gmail.com or whatever. And then I even put like a plus sign and like a random string inside there. So I'm expecting that LinkedIn will send any sensitive information about my account to that email address. So if I'm receiving an email, hey, we need you to confirm your password, blah, 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 and it was sent to my name at gmail.com, I know it's a phishing email because I'm not using that as my primary account email. So LinkedIn would never have sent me the information. There is an extra layer of security. You really want to have strong password, set up multi-factor authentication. I recommend using the LinkedIn app, using your password manager to generate random codes, and not using text message as your multi-factor authentication. If you want to be as secure as possible, add passkeys to your LinkedIn account. This will be the strongest possible version how you can protect your account from takeover. And make sure that you don't install any random software or give random services access to your LinkedIn account. That might also be something like a Chrome extension that sounds really useful, but it might actually steal your information. I'm not going to talk about malware and like how malware might be able to take over your account, like for example, by stealing your login cookie. That's too much for today, but like for most cases, those methods that I described to you today will be more than enough to protect you against any form of attacks where someone might try to get their hands on your LinkedIn account. Now, if you have any questions about that, about passwords, multi-factor authentication, securing your LinkedIn account, please leave them in the comment below. And if you want to get more videos like this, make sure that you subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.